The Desert Rangers are back and Wasteland 3 is finally out. Are they still called the Desert Rangers even though we're in the snowy regions of Colorado? Why not the Snow Rangers? I don't know. Anyway, here are my beginner tips to get you started in Wasteland 3. Exploration tips. If it annoys you that you only move one person in your party at a time and you have to select everyone to move, you can actually disable this in the gameplay settings. There is an option to retain group selection. I turned this on as soon as I saw it, so now my whole party will always move together. Loot everything you can find, including every single container, crate, whatever it may be, regardless of where it is. There is no steal in this game, so you can jump into someone's house or wherever it is and just take whatever you find. They're never going to get mad at you. You can make this easier by highlighting all the interactive objects with Shift on PC or the left trigger on controller. This will highlight anything that you can interact with, so this is a good option to do so you can find these crates and things like that you can actually pick up. When you're exploring the wasteland, you will have random encounters with your Kodiak. You can avoid some of these if you have the survival stat. It is really up to you if you are annoyed at these random encounters and you can do this to avoid them, but it is a good idea to at least do some of these for some extra experience and extra gear and things that you can find when you do them. Outside of your Kodiak, when you are wandering the world, you should be exploring and looking in every corner for secrets and other hidden areas, as you can find these dolls that give you permanent buffs to your team, such as this one that I found that gives you a permanent perception buff. Character creation. When you start character creation, you'll be presented with some ready-made duos to start with. There is no benefits to choosing one of these. There's no extra dialogue or anything like that. They also aren't the best statted characters, and they also don't have any quirks. So it is highly recommended that you make your own custom characters. Even if you don't really know what you're doing, it's a good idea just to play around in that system and always apply a quirk to your characters. Say if you're making a melee build, add the blunderer for the extra melee damage. So a lot of the quirks are really beneficial and add such a good buff to your team. It really is outweighed by the negatives, so make sure you choose something that's beneficial for the character that you're trying to create. You can still create more rangers after your main starting duo as well. Once you have unlocked HQ and you talk to Sergeant Gradesky, you can recruit more rangers from him, but you can also create more custom rangers, which again, it's more beneficial to do this so that you can get the exact character you're looking for and a good mix of different strengths and weaknesses in your party. I'm still learning what the best combination is for the rangers in my party, but I'm currently running a shotgunner, a sniper, a rifleman, and one melee guy who just rushes into combat, and that's been working fine for me for where I'm at in the game. From the character creation screen, and as you level up, you're going to be presented with attributes, stats, and perks for you to unlock. Attributes are your character stats and affect your character in a passive way. I'm not going to go through all of them, but some things that you should look out for is coordination is super important, especially in the early days, as for the action point gain that you do get. Action points are the amount of actions you have in combat, so all your characters should have as high a coordination as you can to give yourself the extra ability to move further in combat or have multiple attacks, that kind of thing. Awareness is also important so that you can see hidden things like traps and paths, but you should only max this out on a ranged character as it does have a ranged attack buff. Stats are basically your active abilities, such as what weapons you can use, how you can interact with other NPCs, and as well as the environment around you. Again, what I would try and do here is not overlap your stats with your characters. Make sure you've got a good spread of different things, especially the social skills, as you can have both a kick-ass and a hard-ass in your party so that you can get both of those dialogue options. You should always have someone who have some leadership as well for the extra hit chance, which is really important. As you progress, some of your stats will also unlock perks, as you can see, and they're usually around 3 perks per stat. After about level 4, you will begin to earn perks every second level. You can use these perks to unlock the perks that you have gained in the stats section. So once you have got the specific stat and the perk is unlocked, you do have to actually use a perk point before you can use that perk. The last character creation tip is don't max out your attributes, as you will find dolls throughout the world which will help you get this to the max level. Give yourself a little bit of leeway at the top side of your attributes, find the dolls around in the world, and you'll get those extra points anyway. Combat tips. Combat in Wasteland 3 is a turn-based game with a slight twist. Turns are now performed by a whole party at a time. So all the enemies take their actions, then all the friendlies, and then your party. You can use this to your advantage to focus fire strong enemies or set up flanks with ease, and it's really important that you do. If you do start a fight and they do have, a leader or a stronger enemy, it's a good idea to focus fire that enemy first. You can move your party freely throughout combat, as you don't have to wait for each individual's turn, so you can make sure you set up your team exactly where you need them, and then set up a choke or something, and then focus fire on the enemies that you're looking for. Outside of combat, you will automatically reload your weapon, so you don't have to worry about this, but in combat, you do have to reload yourself. This does take up action points, so make sure you do this at the right time, but outside of combat, you don't have to worry about it. What you do have to worry about outside of combat is your health. Your health will not automatically regenerate. So as soon as you finish a combat encounter, check your ranger's health, make sure everyone is topped up, as you never know when the next fight is going to come. When you're in combat, especially if you have a character that only has enough action points for one attack, it's a good idea to crouch so that you get the extra hit chance. It also gives you extra evade. It's a really good idea for like a sniper character to crouch for the extra hit chance so that you are not wasting that big hit that the sniper has, who can often only attack once during combat. Don't forget about your abilities either. You will start to unlock abilities as you do progress and get perk points. They are hidden behind this little option, and you will start to unlock some really powerful moves as you progress through the game. So it's a good idea to get comfortable with the ability system and use them as much as possible. You should also be looking at the environment around you and using everything that you have there to your benefit. There are always things that you can play with, like explosive barrels or turrets, and in some cases unique items as well. Before you do start a fight, if you have the time, make sure you set up your party and make sure you check the environment around you for anything that you can interact with before the fight actually begins. And the last tip is the Animal Whisperer stat. I would recommend to have someone in your party to have this at least at 1 or 2 in the early days. What you can do with the Animal Whisperer stat is you can charm these animals that you find throughout the world, like cats and dogs and chickens, whatever it may be. They will act as friendlies during combat, so they will attack and they will help you out, but you also get various buffs from them as well. So just a passive buff for having a companion. At the moment, I have a cat and a chicken, and you can see the buffs that we can get from them. It's a good idea to bring them as well into combat, just so you've got someone else to tank hits for you, and you can also scritch the kitty, and that's very important that you do that regardless. Outside of that though, just enjoy the game and have fun. This is a real RPG, so there are consequences for the actions that you take, so make sure you're happy with the choices that you make. And you can do the save thing where you just save the game all the time, and if you don't like a consequence, you can just roll back and go through it again. There's plenty of things that you can do, plenty of things you can interact with. It's a really good time, and I've been really enjoying my experience in Wasteland 3 so far. I haven't finished the game yet, I've still got a bit to go, but I'm really enjoying what I've played up until this point. If you have any of your own tips, let me know in the comments below, and let others know as well, so that we can all help each other out. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch, where I stream 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday Australian night times. Hope to see you there in the next stream. Thanks for watching this video. My name is NorZZa, and I hope you have a great day.